There's something special about video games that really resonate with people. A good movie is one that makes you forget about yourself and take you into the story, make you feel like you are a part of the scene. A good campfire tale is one that can be descriptive enough for you to imagine that you are there. However, those require immense skill and mastery of a craft in order to really catch the attention of the audience, let alone be immersive enough to really feel like you are connecting. But video games, they have that natural advantage when it comes to this. They provide something that no movie or book can properly add. Audience involvement. In a horror movie, the audience will scoff at the protagonist for walking down that hallway where they know the killer is. In video games, you are the one walking down that hallway. Even if you are safe behind the screen, there's still this dread that comes with each step. Or whenever you're playing a multiplayer game and you whisper to your friends while crouching, hiding from a monster that physically cannot hear you. Or you say the ow every time you take fall damage. Video games, when you play them, there's this connection that is formed, as if a part of your soul has been injected into the polygons that you inhabit. There is another thing about video games that resonates too, and how it fosters the old human traditions of tall tales. That in each game you play, there's a secret to find. A rat man in the sewers, or the forest, or in Construct 13. A set of controls to input that allows you a whole new perspective. Or a console command that shows you something you weren't supposed to see. Horror and video games go hand in hand, and I don't even mean just the horror genre. I mean seemingly normal games that have something secret and dark within them. A ghost in the machine, a virus in the code, a spider on the wall. There's this want for there to be something horrid beneath the surface. With all that being said, you may be asking, what does this have to do with my favorite shooting exploding dress-up game? I love Teams Fort 2. It's another thing that really defined me as the person that I am now. That and Gmod animations of these characters. These 9 men are the ones that I know that are near and dear to my heart. But I'll get to that in a bit. In the near 20 years that Team Fortress 2 has been released, lots and lots and lots and lots of things have been done and made with these characters. SFM series that have been remembered for years, memes that have become staples in internet culture, even a fan-made movie has been made. A horror movie, no less. Team Fortress 2 has a surprisingly long history with horror content. First, there were the freaks that a lot of people have made for Freak Fortress, some of them good, and some of them hilarious. Over time, there have been some genuine attempts at horror, some of which are like Team Killer or Hoovy Dundee, then very recently, Emesis Blue. It's interesting how these colorful, cartoonish characters in a bombastic and over-the-top game such as Team Fortress 2 can still be used for some pretty effective horror projects. For a while, Gunslinger Pro 2009 was my favorite of the bunch, really pioneering some Team Fortress 2 unfiction. But what really makes it effective for me is the almost benign malice that comes from the titular Gunslinger Pro, the cruelty that comes from a Gmod player. A lot of the times you're watching, you can see yourself doing something similar to what they are doing, but with the knowledge that these supposed ragdoll puppets are conscious and aware of what is happening. It really recontextualizes things. You think, as you watch these characters suffer, have I done something similar? Am I just as cruel as this guy? Am I more cruel than him? On October 31st, 2024, a video was uploaded by two idiot Germans, The Empty Server, a horror source filmmaker animation, and it is now my favorite horror project. MS's Blue and Gunslinger are still up there, yes, but this is now my favorite. It's short, it's harrowing, and it is perfectly executed for what it wants to be. I have been itching for a good horror story that really scratches what a creepypasta was like back in the day. And especially since the rise of digital horror has me looking for that lovely taste of nostalgic terror. The Empty Server hits it perfectly, as well as its continuation, Migration and Serverblight. It really knocks it out of the park for me. If you want a taste of something good, these are a masterpiece that Derfisho6 and possibly Lino have laid out for us. Go watch these videos. It's only 20 minutes of your time, and it's also wonderfully executed. I know this sounds like I'm just gushing and gassing these up, but that's mainly because this video is going to be about these videos. Analyze what I can, what I think is going on, and finally, what makes it so good. This is quality, so give it the time of day, if anything. You're back? Good. Let's rock. This video starts with a loading screen, and you can already tell a lot from just this. Whoever is playing this game is someone who loves this game, with a lot of hours in it, a fairly experienced player, and of course, heading to Thunder Mountain. He joins Blue and decides to play Sniper, seeing that he is the only person on Blue team so far, but that probably means the server just started. He goes on to introduce himself, and this is where we learn the name of our Blue Sniper. For the purposes of this video and from what we find out in other videos, this player's name is Aaron. So Aaron digs a lot, says hello, and gets a reply back. KYS. Cool U system. In all seriousness, comments like these are typical in a casual match, so he isn't bothered. Wow, this server sure is empty. But not too empty, as a spy uncloaks behind him. People running off the cliffs of Team Fortress 2. This is honestly a pretty normal experience in casual so far. But after running off the cliff, the spy, Bred Dolphin, or Bree Dolphin, I don't know, there's only one D and I don't know how to read, disconnects, and a scout also runs towards the cliffs. This time, Aaron goes for a shot, misses, and then the scout just stops. This is atypical behavior. And so the scout, Directions, lets the sniper shoot him in the head. After another round of low-tier god on the chat, Aaron continues and sees a dead heavy on the ground. After seeing the utter lack of anything happening, decides this must be some idle server and tries to leave. Except, he can't. Okay, video games tend to delete corpses after a while, and maybe there's a UI glitch causing him to be unable to disconnect. That's fine. That's probably it. Then he notices that the cart is right on the edge of the point. As if this map was being played on by a bunch of people, almost succeeding, only to suddenly stop. And now all those that remain are intentionally dying. He runs up to the point, trying to cap, but sees someone running away and decides to see what's up. And then... Alright, this is perfection. Let's really talk about the setup of this twist. When he first arrived, he was told to die. This is literally the most typical edgy comment a gamer can make. Then the spy runs off the cliff. The scout intentionally dies, and now this engineer is telling the sniper to not let it take him alive. This is single-handedly the best horror trope there is. Recontextualization. Emesis Blue is good because it recontextualizes respawning. Gunslinger Pro is so effective because it recontextualizes sandbox ragdolls. The Empty Server recontextualizes edgy chat messages. What we thought was an edgy insult was actually a dire warning to get out while we still can. At least, he did manage to get out. Hang on. Aaron was only allowed to disconnect after he died, just like the spy. The scout also did, but we never saw a disconnect message for directions. In any other instance, this would have been a continuity error, but if we look into the next video, Migration, things become clearer. We see the same disconnect message as before, showing us this happens after the previous video. A new player enters the game. Johnny Danny 12. A gibbous engineer. Why is it always the gibbous engineers that face the horrors? Johnny walks out of spawn and gets a message from the same engineer that we saw before, Gilesuit, but not the same message. I'm having so much fun. That's odd. Johnny, not in the know, congratulates him and goes to build a sanctuary. He repeated that same message and... Wait, what was that? There's a weird thunk. Johnny also seems to notice the noise and goes to try to find out. Oh! They're now out of the map and can now join a new server. That's bad. That's really bad, actually. What's more, there's even a list of people that we can see have gotten taken. The Real Kid, Spygame TF2, Winged Hussar, Bannock Burn, Gafer, and Directions and Gilesuit. You can't just die. You need to die out of bounds, so they can't get you. Can I just say, like how the first video made a negative comment a dire warning, this video flipped it on its head by making a lovely statement into a forced and dreadful knee-jerk reaction. Before we continue to the next video, let's take a moment and really digest what has happened so far. In a random server, a match of Thunder Mountain has started. The game was going well for Blue Team, but before the final push of the cart, Red Team stopped them, and very quickly afterwards, something joined the server. More particularly, Red Team. Looking at the glimpses of the creature that we can see, we only see Red Team members. As soon as it joined, people probably noticed something was wrong, and players who wanted to leave couldn't. Then, one by one, Red Team got assimilated into this thing. Sooner or later, somebody probably jumped off the cliff and was able to disconnect. This is the other reason why I think it joined red first, because the blue respawn point was right next to the cliff. They can easily walk over there and jump, which is why there were no blue members in the server. They all already left. Red team, however, needs to walk across the map in order to reach it. They either need to be quick, silent, or find a different way to die. However, dying is not enough. You need to die out of bounds, which is why Aaron and Red Dolphin managed to get away, while Gillisuit and Directions got assimilated. And we can only hope that Johnny got away after the disconnect. There is another thing worth noting. Not with the creature itself, but with the players. Why was Gillisuit moving like that? His mouth moving with the messages, walking, grabbing the machete. How was Directions nodding his head? Why was Aaron able to express shock and fear on the sniper? These are not things that are supposed to happen in-game. Well, neither that, but especially not this. So, what's going on there? I have an idea, but I think we should move to the next video before we get to that. See how things play out before I make the calls. The next installment, Serverblight, released on January 4th, 2025. Or in other words, today, as of writing this script, hi, it's me, Dante, the guy you sent productivity brainwaves that got me working on this video. Thank you, Diversionalino. But, back to the horrors.
KYS? That bitch tells me KYS? Fucking pyromanes. Aaron? Go soldier. We're gonna carry this team to victory. Move out! Let's go, fuck 'em up.
The video starts with a typical match of Snowy Coast. This is where we get the name Aaron for our friend Dixalot, as well as his friend Hectoron, or Matt. They continue the game and manage to get a victory, and we see a bunch of names on the server, a bunch of players, a lot of which are repeating names in the chat. If I really wanted to, I can log down each one, but I think that would be better to just let the video continue. It can't be that important, right? Alright gamers, listen up. There are two teams. On Aaron and Matt's side, there are 14. On the other side, there are 15. As we will find out just after this segment, they are in a community server of 16v16. Here is the list of all the people in the server at its peak, in order of appearance in the video. After they completed the match, most of the people left, which is, honestly, typical for most servers. I went through everything and checked who left, and I double-checked 2, which I'm glad I did, because there are 2 people that I thought didn't leave when it turned out they did. Glad I caught myself. There is one discrepancy, however, and that is Zooey Minecraft. We know they are on Red Team, but we never see a disconnect message, and they didn't return after the match begins. I'm going to assume that this is an editing error, and not a sign of anything major. Let's just say Zooey Minecraft's computer crashed immediately after this clip, and they live to see another day. Point is, there are a total of 6 people left. Aaron, Matt, and Scuba Master 96 on one team, and Drain Damage, Snow Doom, and Pandaria on the other. Drain Damage being the pyro at the beginning, Snow Doom a demo man, and Pandaria who, well, we don't exactly know. Judging by this point capture, they are either the heavy or the soldier. But I will withhold my judgment of which class they might be, for reasons that will be clear soon. Regardless, these are the current members of the server at the time. Let's continue on with the video.
Yeah, man.
People say this is the most unrealistic part of the video, but honestly, not really. I played Team Fortress 2 for 12 years, and I still don't know how to keybind a chat message. After responding, Matt mentions that community servers like these don't get a lot of people, and asking why Aaron doesn't just join a casual server anymore. Here's the thing. Aaron has spent a lot of time in this game, and he clearly loves it. Even though he experienced something genuinely horrifying, it doesn't automatically mean he can just let it go. Logically, the safe bet is to never play the game again, but humans aren't exactly logical creatures. We grow attached to things that we have sentimental value to, even if it can hurt us. Besides, he should be safe in a community server. It's not like he can just... Oh! It can! And I see some new people have been added to the mess. Oh no. Aaron immediately tells Matt to leave, but like last time, they can't. Even kill binding doesn't work. Which was a criticism that some people have had, but it's clear now that they can't just press a button to leave. If all three of them kill binded in spawn, then the Serverblight can't reach them, so it turned that ability off. Now, there's only one place to go to escape. The final point. Realizing this, Aaron starts rocket jumping in spawn, but was stopped by Matt. However, Matt doesn't really know what it is, thinking it's just some cheaters. The two of them go on to prepare for what's to come, while Scuba Master also seems to join in.
Yo, Heavy, you with us?
We go together.
Before running away.
Idiot.
Notice how I put the heavy line over the video to represent Scuba? I think it's what he would have wanted. Speaking of which, Scuba smiles after saying this, and Aaron's eyes also panic when they first join in. Another instance of emotions coming through.
The fuck? There's no one here. Yeah, let's keep going.
After seeing a very familiar scout, Matt goes up to try to kill it, despite being warned.
Yeah, we should. I'm getting that Uber.
Aaron walks up and sees what was directions, asking if Matt was okay.
What? Yeah, let's... What the fuck? Okay.
And once again, the face of the soldier is fearful and starts to grip the weapon tighter. I want to talk about this, primarily because it's important. This should not be possible. Not only the expressions, but the gripping. When Gila's suit did it, it was surprising and major, but these, I don't even think Aaron is noticing that he's doing it. It's like a natural response. Eventually, they find Scuba, standing there.
Yo, Heavy!
And saying, "We go together." That's not Scuba anymore. Running after them, repeating the same line over and over, Aaron makes the quick decision and votes kick it. Now they got a good look at what they are dealing with, and Aaron tells Matt why they are going through this. The only way out is to jump out the pit at last.
Yeah.
Running back, they see what was Snow Doom. Going the long way around, they pass by an ammo and med pack that just respawns behind them. Interesting. But then we see it. This scene really breaks my heart every time I rewatch it. I played Team Fortress 2 for years, so I have no shortage of interactions with players that are just like Johnny. Innocent players trying to enjoy the game only to be sticky bombed every time they place a dispenser. And now, here he is, just trapped in the snow. And you want to know what the worst part is? If you really look at the way he types, how he says things, and the possible meaning of 12 as a shorthand of 2012, that's a kid. This was a kid. This is a kid who was in the wrong place and the wrong time, and now this is his fate. That is, if there's anything left of Johnny anymore. The way the Blights call out for help, the way they only repeat lines they've heard, are they still inside that creature, conscious and aware, crying out for us to help them? Or is it just a predator, taking advantage of the very human urge to help out others in need? Is that really Johnny being left out to suffer for daring to escape? Or is it just bait to get Aaron? I don't know which one is better. I don't know which one is worse. Rest in peace, Johnny Danny 12. We will always remember you. After attempting to mercy kill Johnny, the gate opens and they see the main body of the Serverblight. The two of them run off, Snowdoom chasing after them. Aaron kills them and they retreat to one of the buildings on the map. But Aaron realizes that this is not only stronger than it was before, but smarter.
What?
How smart is this thing? Not only is it malicious in nature, but it's also adapting along.
What?
What is the limit of its capabilities? It can try to pretend to be a player.
What? Yeah, that's...
But it's only limited to what they've heard in the chat before.
Yo, Heavy! Yo, Heavy!
But here's the thing. If they wanted to infect those two, I think with how many people there are in the server already, they would have already been infected by now.
Yeah.
Meaning it's intentionally holding back. Like an ambush predator, patiently waiting for the right moment, learning as much as it can of its prey.
What?
Before it strikes at the right moment. How long has he been infected? When he went for directions, did he get infected? Has it just been pretending to be him all along? I love this plot twist. A lot of the times when sequel comes out, and when the first one is known for its major plot twist, people try to ham it up for the second one, making it grander or more meaty than before. But this was very subtle, which makes it so much better. We saw him run off, and maybe this would have caught people's attention, but we didn't know that it could use voice lines too. It's also easy to admit how his voice lines are pretty much repeated. This was a really well done twist. The guttural noise really takes the cake of the scene. And 3 new people enter the mess. First off, I really hope you guys watched these, and even if you didn't, please give a subscription to Two Idiot Germans, Der Fish, and Lino too. Hopefully they can get money to help pay for Aaron Dixelot therapy bills. Alas, let us ask the question. What is this thing infecting in servers, taking people and assimilating them into itself? Not only that, but it's also preventing them from leaving or killbinding, keeping them trapped inside. The only way out is to die outside the bounds. There's definitely something affecting the code of the game, keeping them inside. That said, it does raise an important question. Is there something technological going on? There was a poll on the channel's community tab, asking what people think about it. One of the options is that it just affects the Steam accounts, but I don't think this is the case. Not only will it ruin all the stakes, but it wouldn't make sense. If Matt's computer just crashed, I think he would have just messaged Aaron and the twist would have been clocked on a lot earlier. There's another reason why I don't think this is the case, and that's the movements. Like I said, there's no way to do this in the game. Nor does Aaron or the others even clock on that they're doing this. I don't think there's any sort of technology that can fully convey the emotions of a player that they are feeling onto a virtual avatar, especially not a 2-decade-old game that only recently got a 64-bit update. There's only so much a JPEG of a coconut is capable of. So, what do I think is happening? It's not technological in nature. I think it's fully supernatural. It's not connecting to your player or character, but your soul. Video games are truly capable of all kinds of immersions, and humans with our ability to suspend our disbelief and fully connect to a game, feeling the fear and terror of the thing we see on screen, I think that's what's happening. The Serverblight is something that officiates the connection. The longer you are in its presence, the more and more your soul is entwined in the game. The subtle movements and emotions aren't just oddities. It's possession. And this, ultimately, is what I love about the Serverblight. Like, the whole concept of the Serverblight feels like a story I would read in 2010. You know, minus the fact that it's, well, good. The more you are in the game, the more and more your soul merges in its presence. The more you gain control over what you can do. Maybe that's why the Serverblight pretended to be Matt for so long, because then when it did embrace Aaron, it would have the full soul of a person, unlike the case of Gillisuit. Or maybe it just kept around long enough to get as many words out of Aaron as possible, so if it does get him, it will have a lot to work with, and better pretend to be a sheep. There is one more thing to mention. You know how I spent a good bit talking about who was on which team? We saw the Pyro and Demo, Snowdoom and Drain Damage. However, there was no sight of Pandaria. It's probably another editing error. Maybe they just meant to include the disconnect message and forgot to. Oh no. Pandaria is still on the server. Pandaria was perhaps the only person to survive the invasion of Red Team. Where the fuck has he been? Did Pandaria change into a spy, getting cheap backstabs, only to then become the only one to survive? That corridor is where Red Team spawns. Did Pandaria see Matt get transferred, then became too afraid to say anything because they might be pretending to be players too? Oh no. Hang on, did King Scuba spread the infection to even more? Oh fuck!
I open my eyes. I don't remember falling asleep. It's dark. Quiet. I feel numb. I don't remember how I got here. I don't remember much. I was at home. Safe. What was I doing? There's a sound. Something shifts in the darkness surrounding me. I call out. The voice I hear doesn't belong to me. No one responds. I call out to them, but my mouth won't make the right sounds. The hand pressing into my neck is starting to hurt as sensation returns to my body. Or is it my body? My legs feel too long, my shoulders too broad. Where am I? Everything jolts again. I'm moving now as my entire prison slowly crawls forwards, like a centipede lumbering on 100 legs. Oh God. I'm freezing. The biting cold startles my returning senses enough to make me shiver. Where am I? Is this a pile of bodies? Or a pile of corpses? Arms and legs and torsos and faces, all bent and stretched and squirming. Growing fingers pierce the flesh on my neck. We're moving now, scuttling towards the tunnel in the center of the map. Something pulls us along. Our mass forces itself into the tunnel. I can make out someone standing at the other end. Another player. I remember. A spy. Helpless. Staring back at our mass. Something smiles behind my head, and all of our constituent parts start to scream for help. It savors my resistance. Then I feel a million burning pixels sear my flesh, and I scream for it.
Oh, sweet, Lois. Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. Nah, I'm just trying to laugh off the horrors. Like and subscribe, or don't. I'm not your boss.